and I'm going to share with you the last part, the last Sunday afternoon, in the late window, and then the Sunday football, my thoughts on that, and then Monday, the 2 Monday footballs, the Bills at Falcons, and the Bears at Commanders. So it's got Cincinnati Bengals. They lose to the Green Bay Packers 27-18. It was a Joe Flacco led Cincinnati Bengals. Yet she was a backup. He ended up being the backup. He got benched for Dylan Gabriel. And the Cincinnati Bengals ended up training for him. They sent the Browns sent over a lower round draft pick and Joe Flacco, and then they got a high round draft pick in place. Right, so it's just like a draft trade. But they needed the quarterback. Jake Brown was not doing so well. You could see signs of promise in him if he's doing well. In that game, he did not do bad though. When he was doing good, like yesterday, like on Sunday, you could see he's doing well. 27-18, Green Bay wins. The Packers got 3 wins, 3-1-1. 3 wins, awesome. Bengals 2-4 now. And then Joe Flacco 29-45, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love 19, 26, 2 yards, a touchdown interception. Josh Jacobs 19 carries, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown 9 carries, 40 yards. Jamar Chase 10 receptions, 9 yards, a touchdown. Nathaniel Coleman 3 receptions, 86 yards. And then T. Higgins 5 for 62. Fant 4 for 27. For Green Bay, you had a lot of rushers do yards, couple yards. Then you had Josh Jacobs 5 for 57 rushing in that preceding game. Romeo Williams 5 for 55. Turcraft 2 for 43. And then you had a field goal in the second quarter to make it 3-0. It was a low score first. It was a no score first score. Then Josh Jacobs with a 3-yard touchdown rush and the extra point, make it 10-0. Then Joe Flacco with a touchdown. As a defensive holding would have been if it was no touchdown. It would have been first down. It would have been like first and goal on the 1. But then that touchdown extra was good. And then in the third 44, Josh Jacobs rushed it now for 14 yards for a touchdown. And then they made the extra point. And then it was a field goal for McPherson make it 17-10. Then Jordan Love with the touchdown with 7:33 to go. And then Joe Flacco with Jamar Chase for 8 yards. And then they made 4 of them no. The 2-point conversion, Chase Brown. And they made it 24-18. And then the field goal, 27-18. And that iced the game. Have that field goal kick. And then the Kansas City Chiefs, they get to 3-3 with a 30-27 win. Or 30-17 win, my bad. 30-17 win over the Detroit Lions. The Kansas City Chiefs are showing why they're, even though they're 3-3 this year, they probably won't get the number 1 seed in the AFC this year, most likely. But they'll have to come and play as a wild card. But as like they might be a division winner, but they're not gonna make it the first round. They're gonna not get the skip to the second round. They're gonna have to play the first round of playoffs. And the Kansas City Chiefs get a win 37, and so they're still proving why they're good though. They have they've had 3 losses, which teams they lost to. I mean, Jackson was the only one that's really super surprising. I mean, with their little slide, a couple games slide for Los Angeles, Los Angeles Chargers. But Kansas City's still showing why they're still good. 30-17. And then Jared Goff 23-22, 2 touchdowns. Fish Holmes 22-30, 253, 3 touchdowns. Jimmy Gibbs 17 for 65. And then Williams 6 for 66. Trzaskowski 6 for 78. Isaiah Pacheco 12 for 51. In the first quarter, Jake Bates scored 28 for goal. And then it was Patrick Mahomes for Xavier Woodley for 6 yards. Touchdown was 6-3. The extra point was no good. Then Jared Goff with a touchdown and the extra point. Make it 10-6. And late in that second quarter, it was a 1-yard touchdown rush. And then O'Connor with the offside defense. It didn't matter because it would have been. It was a touchdown, and it was 13-10 with the Harrison Butker extra point. Patrick Mahomes made a 9-yard touchdown pass to Brown, 19-10. And 20-10, Harrison Butker with the extra point. And then the fourth quarter started near the fourth quarter. Jared Goff made a pass and was caught by Sam Laporta for 4 yards. Make it 17, 20, and the extra point. Make it 20-17. And then it was Patrick Mahomes pass short complete. And that was Brown make it 26-17. The next row was Harrison Butker. Then he made a field goal with 2:26 in the fourth. Made it 33 field goal. Made it 30-17. And Jared Goff, and he's right there. Jimmy Gibbs, like I said, 17 for 60. Montgomery 4 for 24. Then you had Joe Williams 6 for 66, 7 for 5 for 34. Monty Brown 9 for 5. Montgomery 2 for 37. And the other defense was right, so their kick return 23.6 yards per kick. So not bad though. They just couldn't get the field goals. Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco 12 for 51. Yeah, Mahomes 6 10 for 32. Kareem Hunt 6 for 23. And then you had, like I said, Drew Smith-Schuster 3 for 57. Hey Brown 4 for 45. 42 for 25. So not bad though, not bad. But it was a tough game for the Lions. And you had the fight at the end of the game between the two players, between the two teams. As you had Brian Branch with the fight at the end of the game, like Brian Branch, he punched. If you've seen the fight at the end of the game, or like you watched the video, you've seen that it was the end of the game. It was in the handshake line. After the kneel down, the final kneel down at the end of the game. Twice the game, it was Brian Branch. Won by Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was going to shake his hand at the end of the game. The guys do all the players in the handshake line. They're usually friendly. Majority of them are usually friendly with each other, shaking hands with each other. The two coaches shake hands. With a mutual sign of respect for each other. And a mutual sign of respect for the players playing against each other. And usually you see that. And not in this one. But not in this one. Not for Brian Branch. He punched Judas. Patrick Mahomes looking him a handshake, and maybe tap him on the back, say something to him, and stuff like that. And then he just tapped him on the back. Okay, I'll also be nice to you, even though you're not. You know what I mean? And then Drew Smith-Schuster was gonna hit him in the back. And he was kind of salty with Drew Smith-Schuster because over a penalty that happened. It was like a block in the back or something like that. And he was salty about it. And then he slapped him in the helmet. And there was a big fight ensued, and they stood up for each other. Obviously, the teams want to stand up for each other. But the players all knew that he was in the wrong. I think the Lions players knew he was kind of in the wrong. They're just trying to de-escalate the situation. Too. And just was and he suspended a game by the end of one game suspension by the NFL. Which I mean, you're not. It's like other sports like baseball or basketball or some sports where you might see more like longer suspensions because there's the season like with stuff for football. Getting like 3 games suspension like Jordan Addison did first thing, or like severe things, getting half a season. It's pretty big for the NFL though. It's a good bit for the NFL though. So even just to get 1 game suspension is first, but yeah, that's like a dirty thing. Yeah, they were just trying to be friendly at the end. I don't see why, you know. And the Atlanta Falcons, they upset the Buffalo Bills 24-14. Now that's a stunner upset. The Atlanta Falcons upsetting the Buffalo Bills. Now that is stunning upset. Those two teams, that game. I would think the Buffalo Bills would bounce, or the Archer Park Bills, I should say. I think they'd bounce back with the win. With the win over after losing to after losing the Foxborough Patriots. But no, they do not. Atlanta was a 3-2 with that one. Bills 4-2 now. Atlanta just all over. Josh Allen, 15-26, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Got Pax Jr. 20-32, 250 yards a touchdown. James Cook 17 carries for 8 yards. Bijan Robinson 19 carries for 100 yards a touchdown. Rick London 10 receptions, 150 yards a touchdown. Jay Palmer 2 receptions for 60 yards. So really solid game for the Falcons. Josh Allen 6 for 42 receiving. Jay Palmer 2 for 60. Cage 3 for 33. Shears 3 for 27. And you had next one for 19. Radius 2 for 19. And then you had Tyler Giroux 10 for 32. You had B. John 6 for 60. Lopez 3 for 18. Mainly on defense, Major Drake Lynn, receiving with Major Drake Lynn and B. John Robinson. But still, they won the game, and that's all you can ask for. The defense played well in that goal, and then yeah, their offense showed 2 big receivers, the running back, and their big receiver. And then Eden Robinson with the big receiver, big rusher showed on the pass and rushing game. Drake London in the receiving game showed up well. And then Tyler Giroux 20-yard touchdown. And then touchdown for Parker Roma. And Josh Allen and Prater with a 1-yard extra point. And then Josh Allen the Lux 20 yards. Like a Pax a 9-yard touchdown catch by Drake London. And with the Parker Roma extra point, they go 14-7. And then B. John Robinson rushed in for 81 yards. A big, huge touchdown run. And then Parker Roma extra was good. And then it was almost a touchdown run. Another touchdown run in the second quarter. Parker Roma makes the extra point, and then it was almost a touchdown, but they ruled a touchdown. But after review, it was stepped out of bounds, and then make it still 2-7. Josh Allen with the catch, short right to R. Davis for 6 yards, and make it 14. At their extra point for prayer, make it 21-14. Atlanta with the solid lead. Then Parker Roma late in that fourth quarter, made it 44-14. And the Bills almost had it though, but however, it was just a free first. It was 3-1. It was gonna be a free first one if the defense does it. If there's an offside to call or anything on defense, pretty much. Even if there's a penalty that doesn't require a first down, you're so close that you would get it. And then it was first down on the offsides. And then made Buffalo use all three talents. And then they scored 3. And then they scored 2 field goal. In the fourth, that Atlanta did. It made Buffalo use all their talents then afterwards. And they did, and they made it 24-14. And then Josh Allen got intercepted late for the second interception. and won 24-14. And then the Chicago Bears win 25-24 on a game-winning field goal. Michael Santos. Then Caleb 17-22 for sure as a touchdown. Gene Daniels 19-26 to another 3-touchdown reception. DeAndre Swift 14 carries 20 yards and 2 catches for 6 yards a touchdown. Moore 3 catches for 6 yards a touchdown. Jay Kreskimer 17 carries 60 yards, 17 runs 60 yards rushing. Then it was 2 field goals early in the late early one, the first score for Jay Moody, and Jay Moody. It was his first game ever. It was his first game. He used to be Carlos Santos in Chicago for a while, and then some Jay Moody was his first ever game in Chicago for the Chicago Bears. And then it was 12, and then with the extra, and then in the second quarter, it was Gilliam's right when you're t-shirt late in the early in the second quarter, got a drive goal ended, and then it's 13-0. Then Gene Daniels a catch to Seymour for 20 yards to make it third, and with the extra point for Mackie, made it 13-7. And then Matt Gay made 50 field goal to make it 13-10. And then Gene Moody made 41 field goal to make it 16-10. And Gene Daniels made a catch to Luke McCaffrey for 34 yards. And then the extra point for Matt Gay, make it 17-16. And then it was 27 to third quarter. Gene Daniels made a catch. Made a catch to pass to Zach Ertz for 6 yards and then made 24-16. Then the touchdown catch for DeAndre Swift for defense. Then tried to go for 2. Missed, but did not get the 2. And then ended up just not making. And then ended up not winning the game still. I was going to try to win the game with a 2, or tie it up with a 2, I should say. To tie it up with the 2-point conversion. However, that's not the case, and it's being a 30-yard field goal for Moody, and he wins 25-24 over the Bengals. So, Chicago Bears over the Washington Bears. I said over the Cincinnati Bengals. I was thinking maybe CB. It's it's the Chicago Bears can win with a late Jamie 3-yard field goal win the game. It's a solid pickup for for the Chicago Bears. Backup for the Chicago Bears. So there are some challenges these games. I'll let you know what I think. These games, I'll let you know. So I'll let you know next week what the games are next week. And there is a break for the international and second match. And then there is a few other matches going around. But yeah, the Chicago Bears won 25-24.